Good afternoon, Yarny friends. Jamie here with Redbird Stitches. I just want to say it's been a minute since I've seen all of you, so I've got a bit of catching up to do. But first of all, I wanted to say thank you for those that are new subscribers here. I appreciate you coming to check out my channel, as well as my subscribers that have already been here. Thank you again for stopping by again. I truly appreciate it. If you like this video, if you could give it a thumbs up, that would be great. It helps with the algorithm on the fancy YouTube streets. So let's go ahead and get started. Most of you know I just was on a vacation. I went to North Carolina to see some family, so it was amazing. My husband and I we drove. I'm in Central Florida, so it was like an 8-hour trip, give or take some time. You know, we had the dog with us, Baxter. I didn't want to leave him in a kennel since we were going to be renting an Airbnb. And so it was a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and start with I'm going to show you some acquisitions that I've been really trying to get organized. It's springtime, clean out, things like that. So I'm going to start with that kind of stuff first, and then I'll go into more vacation details. I hope you guys are doing well. I know for some of you, school's getting out very soon. I know the Southeast, the kids get out of school at I think it's the end of May. And those that are in the US up north, I know you guys get out sometime in June. So it's a busy time of the year for everybody. My friend in New York, poor girl, she's been freezing to death. So I'm hoping you guys are having some nice spring weather. If you're not, hopefully it's on the horizon. We have had an unusually long, cool spring here. In fact, yesterday we got some rain and it cooled everything right down. So that was amazing. Today I haven't had the AC on, so I'll take any of those days that are left, that's for sure. So back to cleaning out. I was able to purge my personal closet, my clothing closet. So that was fantastic. I got 2 garbage bagfuls of donatable clothes. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. I love to do that. And you know, I have no problem buying secondhand clothes. So I feel like, you know, if it's in really good condition, go ahead and donate it. You never know when somebody could use something. And I'm talking donating at a thrift store that isn't out to make a lot of money. So it's a thrift store that is actually in business to help the community. And so hence their prices are very low, very economical. So that's the kind of donation spot that I always look for. So with that, in cleaning out, I was at the dollar store this past week and I saw this. It's a decent size. It's plastic, but it has a nice zipper, clear plastic. I figured it would be good for like a travel make bag, you know, something just to throw your work in real quick and take it on the go. I like the fact also that it is plastic, it's waterproof. We are heading into our rainy season here. So a lot of times I shy away from my fabric project bags, and this is $1.25. It's a decent size and it's waterproof. So I thought that was a good find. So I wanted to pass that on to you guys. And then I also, in getting organized, I also purchased just a plain old 3-ring binder at the dollar store, as well as the sheet protectors. And I figured I went ahead and I have a couple patterns that I've used, and so I went ahead and put those in a binder so that they don't get all messed up, because these are the ones that I plan on using again. So so in the effort, I can't think of my words, in the effort to be organized and keep things in a decent, you know, so they don't get all ruined, tattered and whatnot, I went ahead and placed my printed patterns. I like the fact that also on my printed patterns, I keep notes. That way, if I've changed something and I'm going to go back to it, I can go ahead and see the notes that I've written before, because a couple times I've used the same pattern for ponchos that I've made in the past, and I've made different sizes, so I keep the notes in the margin. So anywho, I just want to show you guys that. And I did end up going to a thrift store, and this is the beautiful gem that I found. It's a piece of stained glass, and you guys know how much I love glass. And so it's a quilt pattern. So I got that for my room. I'm gonna put it on my sliding glass door so that when the sun shines through, I can see the beautiful colors. So that was a fantastic find. I only paid $4 for it. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of work. I've done stained glass. I enjoy doing stained glass. Each of the pieces has to be cut out. You have to sand it down to make it smooth, and then you have to do the foiling, and then you have to do the actual leading to connect it. And yeah, so for $4, she's beautiful. I love her. So I'm excited to have her. So those are a couple fun things that I've been doing. I also wanted to show you, I'm working on Henny Penny. Henny Penny, if you don't know, I call Henny Penny the big chickens, the Oak and Marlowe chickens. So I've been working on one of them. And this is I've got the bottom part started. So it's with chenille yarn. It's the Premier chenille yarn that is the big stash. It's the big, I think it's like comes in a sack of 3. And so this is gonna be my Henny Penny. I'm working on her. I need to get some started for the fall. I have one show I'm gonna do, and my chickens did very well last year at the show. So I have 1 or 2. I think I'm gonna be able to squeeze out 2 shows in October, because November my husband and I are gonna be traveling. So I'm trying to get just a little, not too much stock, but I know what kind of sold at those last year. So, and Henny Penny was one of them. We live in an agricultural area, and so, and one of the shows is at a ranch. So I sold all my Henny Pennies, my different ones. So that's one of my WIPS. And then I also, this past week, I had a friend call me and asked me if I could make one of my capelets, and it's the Bagodaycrochet capelet that I've made in the past. If you go on my Instagram, the Redbird Stitches Instagram, you'll see the actual capelet. I had to give it to her yesterday because she was giving it as a gift today, and I didn't get a chance to photograph it correctly. So there is this is like, let me see, this was the 4th time I've made that capelet. So I think it's going to be considered one of my more popular makes. And I made it with this yarn, which I love this yarn. I do love it too, though. It's from Hobby Lobby. It's a 4-weight yarn. It's acrylic. The colorway is called Ivory 732, and it's 252 yards, a 4-weight yarn, like I said. And they suggest using a 5.5 millimeter hook. I did go up a hook size because I wanted it to drape. Let me back up. I did a 5.5 hook on the yoke part because it's smaller stitches and I like the looks of it. And then when I started to do the V-stitch, I did 2 rows with a 5.5 hook. And then after the second V-stitch row, I did the 6.5 because I wanted it, the person that was going to be wearing it was a little bit bigger than myself. And so I really wanted some more ease and drape to it. So I went ahead and went up 1 hook size and it was perfect. And I didn't block it, I just steamed it so that things relaxed a little bit. And I put one single button at the top of the capelet. And then I went around the perimeter, the edge. The lady that wanted it as a commission piece, she wanted the fur on it. And I said, no problem, I'd be happy to put fur around it, because she saw the one that I had before with the fur around it that I had done for my other friend. She was in a wedding in the winter time in January, and so I had put the fur around it, and it was very, very pretty. So Aloma, who is the person that requested this capelet, it was on Friday, she called me. She goes, I don't know if you're going to be able to do it. And I said, well, I'll try my best. You know, I can't give you a 100% guarantee because things happen, but I should be able to finish it by Sunday. And I did. So I was really excited about that. I was glad. So anyway, I gave it to her yesterday and she was really pleased with it. So, and she also ordered another one in sky blue with fur around it as well. And that's for a delivery date of June 10th. So I'm so excited. That's really cool. It's very nice when somebody appreciates your work, and it gives you a little bit more self-esteem when you are producing items that people are requesting more of. So yeah, that was huge. That was a milestone for me, actually. So that was exciting to have a secondary order right away. That was fantastic. I've never had that happen. So that, like I said, it was a milestone. And then I have been busy working on my knitting journal as well. So I finished a total of 3 washcloths using the pattern off of the Flux YouTube channel. And I believe her name is, I don't remember. I think it's, I'm not going to even say what her name is because I don't want to mess it up. Anyway, she has a Flux, a knitting channel, and a crochet channel. And I watch both of her channels. She has great ideas, not overly complicated, wonderful tutorials. She also has them in PDF form if you want to print them out. So yeah, so far I've made 3 washcloths working on learning my knitting. And so I wanted to show you a couple of my WIPS. This is going to, it's almost this, it's like similar pattern to the washcloth. And when you see it, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is going to be a shawl. See how it has the opening here, and this is to do an increase. And so this is a thick yarn. I had got this yarn at a yarn swap. Oh, I just dropped the ball. So now I'm just going to show you the spaghetti part, because I had originally done this. Look at the sparkle in it. Isn't that gorgeous? It is just absolutely beautiful. I love this yarn. It's like a grayish blue and then a bright blue sparkle. It's amazing. I really, truly love this yarn. So I don't have the yarn bands to even tell me what this yarn is. I have no idea. It feels like a wool / acrylic blend. Again, I would love to know what this is, but I don't know. And I originally tried to make the capelet that I made with this yarn, the Bagoday project, but I didn't like the way the stitches were looking too muddy with this type of yarn. So I took it out, I frogged it out, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna try knitting just a shawl with the Flux pattern. So I started it and I'm enjoying it. I haven't dropped a stitch yet, so that's exciting. I'm making some headway. The needles that I'm using with it are a 15, and this is the first time I'm using not connected straight needles, so that's exciting, and I'm doing okay with it. I'm enjoying it. So I have like 5 cakes of it that are about this big. They're not big at all. And I'm just gonna knit till I don't have any left, and bind off, and that's going to be my little, probably like a scarf shawl capelet size. I don't think it's going to be a big shawl, just depends on how much I have left. So I wanted to show you guys that. That's coming along. And then I have this project I started, another knit project, and this is with some yarn that I bought 2 years ago, and I had tried different crochet stitches with it, and I didn't care for it. I didn't care for the self-striping and the pattern of stitches I was using. So here is the knit shawl. This is going to be a shawl because there's a lot of yarn and it's very squishy. And here is the ball, so you can see what the ball looks like. So it's pretty big. I'm gonna have a good size scarf if it's not a shawl. It's, let me see, I'll read it to you. It's a local yarn dyer here in Florida, and it's String Theory self-striping yarn. It is 84% superwash merino and 16% stellina. So that's the sparkles in it. It says to use a US number 3 knitting needles, hand wash, dry, flat, and a 2 to 3.25 millimeter crochet hook. 425 yards. 425 yards, 388 meters, and 115 grams. So yeah, that is coming along, and I'm using my Prim needles, and they are, you know what, I forgot the number that these are. I think they're 4s. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. And then I got the cutest little end toppers, Hobby Lobby. So yeah, that's what's going on. Those are my works in progress. And then I'm gonna start that capelet for Aloma, and she wants it in sky blue. So I gotta go find some sky blue yarn. I don't know. I'm gonna check out, if I don't find anything at Hobby Lobby, because that's close to me, I don't have to pay for shipping. I might go online, and if I don't find something good, I might go online with Premier. I love Premier and Universal Yarns. I've used their yarns in the past, and they're very good quality and not outrageously expensive. I mean, you can get expensive, but you don't have to. So now a couple more things that I've made, but I don't have pictures of, and I'm very sorry, but it just seemed like I was making them and they had to go out the door. However, they will be posted on my Instagram. So because I record with my phone, I can't show you my make using my phone to record at the same time. So if you bear with me and go on my Instagram, you will see the makes that I'm going to talk about next. Now, my Aunt Claudia, she is my aunt that lives in North Carolina. She is in her, I want to say mid-70s. And my Uncle Mike, he is just, I think he's almost 80. Yeah, late 70s. I don't think he's 80 yet, I'm not sure. Anyway, that's the reason I wanted to go see them. I want to see my cousins too, which are their children. We grew up together. We have so many memories. When I lived in upstate New York most of my life, we went to Florida on vacation once a year in the wintertime, and we would always stop in North Carolina and spend time with my dad's sister and her kids, the family. And so, it had been a hot minute since George and I had been to North Carolina. They had been here to visit off and on, the kids here and there, because, you know, we live in the tourist section, so a lot of people come down to see us, which is great. But we hadn't been up there to North Carolina to spend any amount of time in 20 years. My daughter was just potty training when we went the last time. So it had been a long time. And I wanted to spend some time up in North Carolina. It's a beautiful, beautiful state. And so I had planned this trip to go spend some time with my aunt. She also is into fiber. She's knitted for a very long time. And we carry that same love of fiber art. So I was really looking forward to grabbing her up and going to fiber and yarn shops in the mountains. So we're on our way to North Carolina, and I called her and said, we're going to be in town in the next day or so. She had known that we were going to come at the end of April. Well, my husband's schedule changed. She's retired. Her husband's retired. So they have a relaxed schedule. So I'm calling her, letting her know we're going to be in town a little early, blah, blah, blah. I leave her a voicemail. She calls me back when she gets a minute, and they actually had to leave North Carolina and drive to upstate New York, where we're all originally from, Plattsburgh area, on Lake Champlain, because their summer home, there was a really bad windstorm, and a huge tree fell on the back quarter of their home. So we were already in Georgia. We were on a road trip, we were right outside Savannah when I found this out. And I was like, oh, I can't believe it. I mean, I couldn't change it anyway. The reason I had changed my schedule is because my husband's work schedule changed. And so we had to take vacation a little bit sooner than we originally planned. So my aunt and I were so disappointed because, that was a big part of the trip, was to go spend time with her. So I told her, I said, don't worry. I'll come back in the fall, even if George can't come back. I mean, George loves my aunt and loves my uncle as well, but I don't know about his schedule and traveling, but I do need to go see her. So in the fall, in October, in her area, there is a huge fiber show, and I really want to go to it. So I think what we're going to do is I'll fly up to North Carolina, like Asheville area. She lives not far from there, and I'll spend a couple days with her, like a long weekend, and in October for that fiber show. So we have a plan B, but it was bittersweet, going up there. But I had made her a beautiful scarf using baby alpaca. It was a blue and white colorway from Hobby Lobby. I believe I showed it on the channel. I'm not 100% sure, but it's that same pattern right here that I have for that scarf. And I made it for her, and she has the most beautiful gray silver hair, and it is just gorgeous. And she wears, her main clothing is always natural linen, chambray, denim, and neutral colors. So I was like, I was like, this is the perfect colorway for her. So I made her that scarf, and I left it with her daughters to give to her. So go on my Instagram and you will see how beautiful that scarf turned out. It's absolutely gorgeous. It looks stunning on her. And she was so happy to get it. In fact, my cousin texted me and she said, can you do a FaceTime so I can give the scarf to Mom? And I was like, sure. So we got a chance to spend, it was probably 2 hours on the phone catching up. And I got to see her open her scarf, and she really loved it. And that just meant the world to me. So yeah, that was a hit, a real hit for her. And it's still kind of chilly up there right now. It's like in the 60s during the day. Sometimes it gets a little bit warmer, but then evenings, chill off. And then she also has the mountain air. So she's been enjoying it over her shoulders, and I'm really happy she loves it. So, and it is a really snuggly, light creation. So it was very nice. And again, I will go ahead and link the patterns in the description box for the makes that I'm talking about, the fiber flux and the Bagoday, the capelet, and the scarf. So you guys can use it. I've used those 2 patterns multiple times now. So really user-friendly, beginner-friendly. I would consider myself intermediate, and it's a nice mindless project that you can enjoy doing and, you know, not forgetting where you left off. So that was one of the makes that's on my Instagram as well. Now, also, I had I'm gonna get a sip of my coffee. Hang on one second. One of my favorite cups, the Orange Bird from Disney. Primarily Epcot, the Flower and Garden Show. I love him, he's so cute. So back onto my next make. I have a very small local coffee shop here in my town, and it is privately owned. I go there periodically when I'm working on a project. Sometimes I just want to get out of the house and, you know, see some people. I'll go down there and read, or I'll work on my crochet. I'll take students down there, you know, for a little break from the class that I'm teaching, the one-on-one crochet class, and we'll go down there, get a tea or a cup of coffee or a cold drink, and just, you know, visit a little bit and then go back to, you know, our projects that we're working on. So the lady that owns it, her name is Christine, and she is so sweet. She reminds me of like a Tinkerbell. She has the pretty little pixie face, little tiny body, big bright smile, and super nice. And she wears vintage flapper style hats and clothing, and it matches her personality perfectly. It's so amazing because she's got that little whimsical, nymphy look about her. I mean, she's just so, it's just perfect for her. It's amazing how her choice of attire fits her personality and her body shape just perfectly. So anyway, one day I was down there crocheting and I had my cardigan on, the one that I had, that's in the background. And I was crocheting, and she was just, you know, cleaning up the dining room of the coffee shop. And she goes, "Oh, you crochet?" And I said, "Yes, I enjoy it. It's more of a relaxation type therapy for me." And she's, you know, she's like, "Oh, I think it's so beautiful." And so she says, "Did you make your sweater?" And I said, "Yeah, I did." I said, "This was like one of the major projects I've done since I started learning to crochet during COVID-19. And she's like, "Wow, you're pretty good." And I said, "Well, I work hard at it." I said, "There's a lot of mistakes and there's a lot of tearing out." I said, "But I do really try hard." And so, you know, she moved along and kept working, and she was very complimentary and whatnot. So then she comes back over and she has a little hat in her hands, and she says, "You know, I purchased this hat at like a vintage clothing / antique shop." I said, "Oh, can I look at it?" And she hands it to me, and it was a nicely crocheted little hat. It was like a little skull cap type of style with like a simple V-stitch, and it had like a brim, not a brim, but like a band, like probably 4 rows of single crochet, and then on the side there was like a little dip and a up, and it was just this really just very simple, just like a little increase and then up. So it was just like this little simple, pretty little white crocheted hat. I said, it feels like a really silky yarn. I said it might be like a combination of cotton and acrylic. I said, if you ever get it dirty or whatnot, I said, I just make sure you hand wash it because it's very delicate. She goes, "Oh yeah." She goes, "I'm so careful with it." She says, I've been looking all over for another one of these, and I can't find them anywhere. And we have a couple nice little antique vintage shops in our little downtown area. And she says, and I've looked at the, you know, the couple places here and I can't find them. And I said, yeah, I said, they are not, you know, I don't really see them very often. I said, but there's probably patterns for them, you know. I said, I could look for a pattern for you. And so that was just like the conversation we had. I didn't promise anything. We just had a little light conversation about it. And I said I would keep an eye out for them as well, you know, because it fits her personality perfectly. And she really loves her little hat. So that was the conversation we had. And so I start, you know, going through YouTube tutorials, and I found a girl on YouTube, and her channel is Little John's Yarn. She does a little flapper. I can't think of the, you know, another style name, but it's like the flapper time frame, a little hat tutorial. So I got out my cotton yarn and I made one in a beautiful olive color yarn, and it's 100% cotton, and I just followed her pattern, very simple, you know, magic circle, V-stitch, increase all the way around, and then then you do some open work, and then there's like a double crochet shell that's like maybe, I think it's 7 stitches, and then you skip, and then there's like a little opening, and it goes like that all the way around. So that's your very last row. So I finished that, and I took it to her on Saturday. I went on Friday of last week down to the coffee shop, and she wasn't there. So she follows me on Instagram. I follow her, so I sent her a message on Instagram, and I told her I had a little something for her. She let me know what her schedule was. And so Saturday, I brought my husband down with me because he'd never been to the coffee shop, and it's a really cute little place. And so I got there, and she goes, "Hey, sunshine." That's what she calls me. So I said, "Here's a little gift for you." And I had a little gift bag, and she opened it up, and she was just gobsmacked. And I was so hoping it would fit her, because I didn't have a measurement over her head, but I felt like what I had made would fit her. And I had in the back of my mind, if it doesn't, I could always block it for her, and it would be fine because it's cotton. And I knew it wasn't far off from fitting her, if it was at all. So she put it on, it fit like a glove, and she was just ecstatic, totally ecstatic. And it was very nice. And she's like, "Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. I am so excited." And I said to her, she's like, "I need to know how much they are." And I said, "No," I said, "You know, this is a gift." And she's like, "No, but I want to order more." So I said, okay. So I said to her, "Well, you go ahead and wear it, see how you like it, and you let me know what colors you're interested in." I said, "Just send me a message." And I said, "But the only thing I request from you is," I said, because I didn't get a chance to take a photo of it, I said, "I need you to take a picture of it when you get a minute, do a selfie and send it to me." And I said, "But I want to post it on my Redbird Stitches Instagram." She goes, "No problem." She goes, "No problem at all." She goes, "I will go ahead and post it on my Instagram too." So that was really sweet. She's so sweet. And so my husband got to meet, a local business owner. So that was really nice too. And the cafe is John 316. So it's a really peaceful, quiet, positive little place in our town that we frequent. So in fact, one of her teas that I love is the Mary Magdalene. It's the London Fog. So it's a Earl Grey tea with a spot of lavender essential oil dropped in it, and it's just amazing. It's so delicious. So that as well, it's not on my Instagram yet because she hasn't sent me the photo yet, but that will be on my Instagram too. And I will go ahead and put the pattern in the description box so that you guys, if you're interested in making that little hat, it's absolutely gorgeous. It works up really, really fast, and it was not hard at all. So on to the most beautiful yarn acquisition that I've got to date. And I don't know how I could ever, you know, every time I buy a yarn, it's like the most beautiful one, right? I mean, yeah. This is amazing, you guys. I got this on my trip to North Carolina, and I bought it. It's for summertime. It is an absolute gorgeous, look at that. It's mohair. It's got bright blue, turquoise, white, and it's gorgeous fluorescence. I bought 3 hanks of it. I mean, look how gorgeous that is. It's stunning, absolutely stunning. I'm so excited. I've been looking at patterns. I'm not sure what pattern I'm gonna use, but I'm gonna go ahead and read to you guys the ball band. It's from France. It's Le Ben Ami. I'm gonna go ahead and also put this on the description part of my YouTube, sorry. This color is called Kumo. It is 300 meters or 328 yards. It's baby Surrey and mulberry silk. Sorry, I was wrong in the fiber content. I apologize. 74% baby Surrey, which is alpaca, and 26% mulberry silk. And it was $39.95 a hank, which is very expensive, and that's why I've been so waiting to find the most beautiful, perfect pattern, because I'm going to make a summer wrap, shawl, something with it. I don't know yet what I'm gonna do. So, and here is the, hold on, there we go. Here is the Instagram as well as the .com. It's like so soft. It's almost like you can barely feel it because it's so incredibly soft and silky. So yeah, that was my big splurge on vacation. So yeah, but it is absolutely dreamy. I bought 3 hanks of it. I've got 3 cakes, and I have to get working on it because, like I said, it's for summer. And I love the bright summer colors. Fluorescent. I can't think of the word. Yes, it's fluorescent. I mean, look how beautiful that is. I just can't. It's absolutely gorgeous. I bought it at the Black Mountain Yarn Shop, and it's in Black Mountain, North Carolina. I will also put their store name and Instagram in the description box. They have a beautiful selection of yarns. They had some hand spun yarns, which I absolutely love. If I didn't find this yarn, I was gonna buy some of the hand spun, but I couldn't afford both. And so it just gives me some time to recuperate a little bit from the heart attack of spending that much money on yarn. My husband was so patient with me. We had the dog with us, you know, so we're shopping in this little downtown area, and we have Baxter with us. And so he's like, I'm in, you know, they're really dog friendly there in the mountain town. So it was nice. So he was in the shop with me, and then he's like, I think you're going to be a little longer than what I had expected. There was a pub down the street. He's like, I'm going to go get a beer, and Baxter and I are going to go chill out for a while. I'm like, no problem. So I got to just see everything, touch all the beautiful yarn, squeeze everything. I mean, I feel like the old days with the Charmin advertisement, don't squeeze the Charmin, but that's what I was doing. I was squeezing all the luscious yarn. Oh my gosh. And so originally I bought 2 hanks of it, and I was like, yeah, that's not going to be enough. I want I want to at least try to get to 1,000 yards, because it's going to take a good chunk of yardage to make a capelet shawl wrap for me. So I'm not a tiny girl, and I want to have, I mean, if I'm going to spend that much money on a hank of yarn, I want it to fit nicely and be, you know, be what it needs to be for me. So I went back a couple days later and I purchased the third hank, and I had them wind it there because I thought I had all my crochet hooks with me. I thought if I find a pattern I want to start working on it, I will, but I haven't. I've been really super selective in the pattern. I don't know what I want to do yet with it. So if somebody has a fantastic fingering weight pattern that you want to share, please, please, please do. Like I said, I'm intermediate. I could do a higher level of intermediate, but I'm not going to do something that I don't feel comfortable with, not with that yarn. So anyway, I'm going to keep it probably to a good, solid, nice intermediate pattern. So some of the things I got to do, so that was my big splurge. That was my big splurge on vacation. And some of the things I got to do while I was in North Carolina, I got to spend time with my girl cousins, and we went to all the shops in Black Mountain. We drove to Asheville. We went to a chocolate shop that literally was beyond this world. They had drinking chocolate, which I haven't had any here in the US in a very long time. Starbucks used to do a drinking chocolate that was very, very good. Now, being that I've traveled to France and Italy, during the winter time, like the holidays from Thanksgiving on, they have drinking chocolate all over the place, and it's in the streets. You walk up and you purchase it, and it's like drinking like a warm pudding. I mean, it's amazing. So the shop in Asheville, the chocolate shop, it's right across from the police station. I will go ahead and list it in the description box if you guys are interested. If you're in the area, please go there. It is amazing. My husband had an affogato, which is, they had homemade ice cream, custard ice cream. And then you put a scoop of that in a coffee mug, and then you pour espresso over it. It was to die for. My cousin's son had I think it was like an 8-layer chocolate cake that was out of this world. We sat there for 2 hours and just visited and ate our chocolate, and we're just like having a good old time. Baxter was not with us on that day, thankfully, because I don't think he would have been as patient. So we just had a great time. That was a wonderful day. And then another day, George and I and Baxter did a couple small hikes in the Blue Ridge Mountain. We drove the Blue Ridge Mountain, and we saw so many trees that were down. That area got hammered from Hurricane Helene. People are still trying to rebuild, but we did enjoy what we got to do. We hiked Linville Falls, which is right out between Marion and Asheville area. It's a nice little hike. So we did like 3 hikes. We got to spend some time in Little Switzerland, which is up in the Blue Ridge. And there's a fantastic bookstore up there that's absolutely amazing. We went to Old Emerald Mine, where they still mine Bonami, BONAMOMI, something like that. It's a cleaning product that cleans porcelain. It's still on the market today. So we got to see that place. It was very interesting. I'm looking down at my notes real quick. The azaleas were in full bloom, bright pink, fuchsia everywhere. The rhododendrons, they were not in bloom yet. That was a disappointment. However, you can see the beautiful rhododendrons if you look on my Instagram, and you see the little scarf my Aunt Claudia is took a picture in front of her rhododendrons. So if you like rhododendrons, please take a look at that. And then we stayed at a beautiful little Airbnb. It was a little tiny home. It was perfect. We had a really great time. And then once we left North Carolina, traveling back home, I got to stop in Conway, South Carolina to see my friends, Kenny, Joe, and Lynn. They're childhood friends. We got to spend 2 nights with them. So we got to go do some little boutique shopping. There was an old hardware store in their town that was absolutely beautiful. And we got to go to dinner with them a couple nights, and we just had a really nice time relaxing. And we got to do, my friend Kenny Jo, she loves to do jigsaw puzzles, so we did that, and that was fun. Just visiting, catching up, relaxing. So that was my vacation. I have kept you guys for a very long time on the video. I appreciate you stopping by. If you have any questions, please, let me know in the comments, anything. Like I said, if you have any great fingering weight yarn patterns, I would love suggestions for my beautiful, gorgeous Surrey and silk. Yep. So I'm looking forward to starting to work on that. And I will let you guys go. I appreciate you stopping by. Like I said earlier, if you could stop by my Etsy channel, my Etsy shop, I would greatly appreciate that. I am going to be listing some more things in it shortly. And that's about it. If you have any great things to share, please do in the comments area as well. And I will see you guys soon. Take care. Have a great spring. Let me know what you're working on, and I'll see you soon.